What's good, my beautiful souls? Today we're doing the very first episode of the Alliant Artist. What was that? Um, I'm not going to stop this take because I think it's important to show my authentic self, right? Um, which is what this show is going to be all about, being your most authentic self. Mostly on a creative and a spiritual level. If spirituality scares you a bit, that's fine. I will explain everything about it, everything that I know about it, and then you can decide if you want to keep watching this podcast. So I'm not forcing you into anything. That's something important to me as well. So welcome. In this show, I'm going to talk about mostly creativity and spirituality and how, for me, linking both of them helped me so much. Like, it's very hard to put it into words, but that's what I'm attempting here in this podcast, right? First of all, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to edit this video as much as you maybe want to, and I'm going to briefly explain why. I think in this day and age, in this society, we are being distracted so much by big companies, by small creators who are just trying to get the most of your attention as possible. And to me, I think it destroys, first of all, creativity, second of all, motivation, because you keep comparing yourself. Was there a third thing? I don't know, but those are like the main things. And attention is like the most important one, because if you look at it, whatever you put your attention to, that shit grows, right? And if you put your attention into consuming media, social media specifically, but it can be Netflix as well. Netflix is a kind of media. Netflix is media, but social media is the worst type of distraction, in my opinion, because you have nothing to do. So what do? You grab your phone and you scroll, keep on scrolling, and without knowing, like 1 hour, 2 hours have passed, and you're like, shit, I almost need to go to bed. And then you watch a movie and you go to sleep, and then you go to work next day, and then you repeat the cycle all over again. And I think that's one of the main reasons why people are so depressed and so anxious these days, because they are not doing in their life what they could be doing or should be doing. And I was a good example of that as well, because 2 years ago, was it 2 years? Maybe a bit more. I was a big time smoker. Gamer. I was addicted to both of them, which is not a good combination. And I went to school. I got back from school. I smoked a joint. I gamed. I went to sleep, and I repeated the cycle. Even though deep inside of me, I really, really wanted to make music. I really, really wanted to make a podcast, and I really, really wanted to. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, I wanted to do martial arts as well, but I was doing basketball at the time, so I mean, we let that slide, okay? We will let that slide. And for the most part of my life, even though I'm just 21 years old, so for me it's a lot easier to accept the fact that I've spent so much time wasting. Because in reality, if you look at the broader picture, it's not that much time. But there's a lot of people out there, people in their 40s, 50s, who have lived like this for almost half of their life, of the bigger picture life, And then it's so much harder to accept that because acceptance is the first step. If you accept, like, okay, I've spent so much time wasting, let's try something different. And when that happened to me, when I broke up with my the one before, my last ex, my second last ex, Something clicked inside of me also because I got introduced to hard techno at that time, and I fell in love instantly. And yeah, nothing could stop me from exploring whatever was needed to explore, because at the time, the second last ex of me, she kept denying me from going to raves because she thought I would take drugs all the time. I didn't take drugs all the time. I mean, but it was the first period of my raving. So and me as a human being, I was so curious to all of it, and I also always wanted to explore my own limitations, and you could apply that on drugs as well. But I'm just being authentic here, okay? I'm just speaking my truth, so don't don't at me. But yeah, I just kept on exploring, and then on New Year's Eve, it was 2023. Yeah, 2022 to 2023. That was a time where I had this realization in my head that said, I need to do this as well, because we were going to a rave and I saw the DJ, and he had like so much control on the crowd, and they were all like enjoying themselves so much, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to know how to DJ and how to make my own music. Of course, it was something that I wanted to do my whole life. But when I was, I think, 12, I got my first DJ controller. And what did I do? I pressed play. And then when the drop came, I pressed stop and play at the same time. And then I thought I was a DJ, but it wasn't nice, It was, I didn't know what key was. I didn't know how you could, play the tracks at the same time. And the moment I did that, I was like, okay, this shit is not for me. Let's just stop. But then the urge of wanting to play music it became bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I opened Ableton. I think it was 13. It was the trial version. And that shit was so in my face, like overwhelming. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, kept trying, okay, what does this do? And 10 minutes, 20 minutes in, and I quit. Like, that was the kind of person that I was. I just quit after half an hour trying. Not even trying 100%, right? Just trying. And to circle back to the moment I knew I wanted to DJ, it was also the moment that I broke up with my ex. She broke up with me. But rightfully so. I mean, some things happened, but besides the point. And I was in solitude for the first time in my life. Not the first time in my life, but like the deepest that I ever was. And at first it was really scary. But then I also got to know spirituality, and they just kept encouraging me to be alone and be with my own thoughts and to observe them. And, when you observe your thoughts and you observe your feeling at the same time, then you can make up for yourself if the thought that is going through your head, if it is you or if it is not you. Because, I mean, there's different types of thoughts, but there's two main ones that I think for now you should be aware of. And you have the thoughts that are not yours, the thoughts that you have, how do you say it? The thoughts that come mostly from trauma. People telling you you can't do something. People telling you you want something even though you don't really want it. People telling you you should do something even though you really don't want to do it. Those thoughts are not yours. And how do you know if those thoughts are not yours? Well, just observe your feeling. If you think of the thought and your feeling is not good, it's like I don't know, then it's not your thought. If the thought comes and you get this really nice feeling, then you know it's your thought. And follow those thoughts that you feel good with. And that's what I started doing. And the moment I started doing that, my life changed so much. And I got to know so many amazing, beautiful people. And I am so grateful for that. Because it all led me to who I am now. And I am, again, really grateful for everything that has happened to me, because it all led to who I am right now. And the moment you stop regretting everything you've done, because at the end of the day, it's all part of a bigger purpose, right? That's the moment when you really are free. And that is what I want for everyone, that they feel free of their thoughts, free of all the distractions. Because like I said, people telling you something, people telling you want something even though you don't want it, or telling you are someone even though you are not that person. That's what's happening in this society all the time. Look at commercials, look at social media. Like, people keep on like grabbing your attention and say like, this is what you want, and then you buy it because you think you want it, but you don't really want it. And then you are, you're spiraling into something so not authentic, like the opposite of it, And that's what I really want for people to experience, not to experience. I mean, I want people to experience their most authentic self. A place of being where they can express themselves so freely, without a filter, without like, oh, well, what are people going to think of me? And oh, what if this, what if that? And is this really who I want to be? And I mean, that's a question you should ask all the time. But I think you get the idea. And that's what the enlightened artist is like, its main purpose, I think. The creativity and the spirituality is something that worked for me, but I'm just here explaining my own vision on life and what I've experienced, what helped for me. And I think with me expressing that, you can figure out for yourself if it is something for you or not, because it's of course it's possible that it's not for you. But if you compare it to mainstream media, they tell you what they want you to know, what they want you to think, what they want you to want. And I'm here to help you explore, to find out what you really want. You get it? You get the bigger picture? So yeah, I think that was a really good first episode, and I think I'm gonna leave it at this. Just gonna keep it short and brief. I'm going to make it longer with the episode, but I'm not going to make the episodes longer than 20 minutes, because I think if you can keep your full focus for 20 minutes, I think that's a really good job, especially these days. So yeah, I'm going to talk about in the next episode what kind of topics we are going to discuss. I'm not going to talk by myself the whole time. I'm planning on inviting certain guests that I think are relevant to the show. But for now, it's going to be just me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that word. Oh my god, I was waiting for that, man. I was talking too smoothly for way too long. And then blah, 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 That's a good way to end it. I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next video.